This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life, and it is great to have J.D. Hinton back with us. You are back in Central Texas.
I am.
And have always enjoyed time to spend with you, for sure, to hear about your exploits in Hollywood and Los Angeles, but especially your music.
Well, thank
and you've got some new music.
I do.
We want to talk about.
We can certainly do that. It's also a pleasure and a joy to always be with you. And I see that you've come up in the world because I like the view.
Literally. We really are. Yeah, because we were...
We were on a street level.
We were
before.
street. I can't remember which of the previous locations, but yeah, but yeah, this is. I still pinch myself that I get to come up here and
It's just amazing.
enjoy this view, and Baylor's just right over there, and it's.
I'm not the only one that said this, but having grown up through elementary school and then high school and going to Baylor here, I've today for the first time been in the Alico building. You see it in pictures all the time. And you go, that's what it is. But today was the first day I walked in, and of course I got, frisked and fingerprinted.
Oh yeah, they print out a little name.
Well, they
thing
knew
for
I
you.
was coming. They said, "Hey, slow this guy down."
Yeah, well, as they say, it's high time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And we are on the 21st floor. But it's always so good to hear, because your creativity just never stops. And when we had the chance to talk before, we kind of got into the deep weeds a little bit about the creative process and what gives you inspiration and that kind of thing. And it's really neat to hear, and we're going to play for our audience snippets, or maybe the whole thing. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. Probably the whole song of three different EP releases that you have. The first one that came out, it's got a real kind of a rock edge to it. I mean, definitely. And I'm talking about Too Damn Good.
Too Damn Good.
You made me say a bad word, but I just did.
I've been called on that.
So tell me a little bit about this song.
There's a reason writers use language to convey information. And I read a friend of mine wrote a pilot for a TV show in Hollywood, and he sent it to me, and it reminded me of a story of a country western guy that I knew about. And as he was described to me, every chance he had in life to make a decision, he made the wrong one. And so reading this script, this fellow that was the pivot point of the story just made bad decisions after bad decisions. And as you get to that moment of choice, did it again. And the way that it worked was that he didn't really care if he got caught. It didn't matter to him. He was able to go on with his life, and it was just kind of who he was. So I thought about that, and so the title "Too Damn Good" is the result of the line, he doesn't stop to think past tonight, because now is just too damn good.
Well, it's this character, as it's phrased, unafraid of consequences.
That's it.
Shall we say. And that really this inspiration kind of came to you in a Starbucks in Austin?
Well, I used to, part of my writing plan is to be able to write anywhere. So if you're sitting in a Starbucks, my God, I can either use the notes on my phone or I can bring a pad and I can just start. So I'd read the script and I just started making notes about, and then you write 40 pages that you're only going to get 3 verses out of it. Those 40 pages give you a whole sense of the character and what he would do, and gosh, what would he do if, and what's the worst thing that could happen if. And you write all that down and hopefully make it fun to listen to.
Yeah, so did the TV show get made?
Oh, heavens no.
But you composed more songs for it.
Well,
I mean, so
I know
they got the music ready.
I know. So, but that's kind of where I walk in. I'm going, look, I'm going to do this, and if the show doesn't go, I'm going to do this well enough that I'll still like the song, and I'll use the song, and I'll. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, why don't we take a second and listen to a little bit of Too
Let's
Damn
do
Good,
that.
and you'll hear what I'm saying. It's got a bit of a rock edge.
There is, and we'll talk about that when we finish.
Okay.
He drinks what he likes, he eats what he likes, he winks 'cause it's better than good. He thinks what he likes, he goes where he likes, who cares if he's misunderstood? He comes when he wants, he leaves when he wants, he smiles knowing I never could. He doesn't stop to think past tonight. Now it's just too damn good.
So
tell me.
so the music has to go along with the story.
Yeah.
And part of the thing that was a challenge in creating this song was I wanted everything to keep spiraling out of control so that it is wild. It starts here and it just continues to do that throughout the course so that at the end you don't know where it's going, but it never stays contained. It keeps blooming. And this, as you say, it has a little bit of a rock edge. So,
Well, this next song that we want to talk about is more of a ballad.
yeah.
And so this one is called Fall in My Arms.
All in my arms.
Yeah.
See, there's the other side of the coin.
Yeah. And this is a little bit more from
There's
first
a
person.
there's a group of people that I have breakfast with several days a week in Los Angeles, and driving from my apartment to where we had breakfast, I had started this musical idea that I was building on my computer, and so on the drive, I just started thinking about words that went with musically what I knew was there. I could record it and play it on my car, and so. That's just how it started to develop, and then I make notes for. We talked about this last time. I make notes all the time for a song, so I can go back into my notes and I know what this song is starting to become, and I can find lines that I've written before, and I'm going, that will fit right here. So,
Yeah, it's kind of encapsulating
yes,
the urgency and passion of love.
yes, there's that sense of like when you fall in love. Or when that moment hits you, you see, across a crowded room, as the old song goes. All bets are off. Whatever you've told your friends or whatever you've told yourself about, the next time I'm going to do it entirely differently. And I'm telling you that 25 feet away, when those eyes meet,
Yeah.
all the rules go out the window. All the plans go out the window. You just go, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but I've changed my whole calendar. What do you want to do?
Yeah, fall in my arms is what you want. There's some of the lyrics, fall in my arms while the world falls silent and waits. Be in my arms when the sunlight slips through the gates.
Yeah.
Gone are the days, all of my wishes were late. And I love this part. Out of the maze, everything crooked is straight. I mean, that's pretty profound.
Yeah, I'm glad you like that. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Thank you. Yeah.
So just this inspiration, these phrases come to you, or
They do. It's just the way. Hey, Caitlin Clark can shoot threes from the mid-court.
Yeah, she can.
Phrases come up in my brain from
Yeah.
time to time. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you are a poet,
Right, thank you.
maybe first. Do you think?
Well,
Or
I think
the music comes first.
I don't know
I know that
which.
we've talked about it.
And it's hard to really pinpoint which comes first, but but a lot of times in a conversation like the one I'm having with you, or I could be having it with my piano player, I'll say something and somebody will go, "That's a song," and it's just the way I phrase things, or it's just a kind of a viewpoint, and it just comes out. And somebody goes, "God, that's great! Did you just think of that?" And you go, "Okay, then I'll write it down because I don't want to forget about it."
Yeah.
And similarly, if you're driving down the road, I'm not sure everybody hums to themselves or sings to themselves while they, push a grocery cart through HEB.
Yeah, but it's usually an earworm or something from a song I've heard Not so
I-
much.
I
not
wake
so
up.
much
I wake
free,
up with melodies.
But you're
in my-
making up
yeah,
these
I'm
melodies. That's why I'm saying
hearing-
you're a composer.
There's stuff that goes on, and I just always thought people just kind of did that. And
I don't think so.
And once I discovered that was a unique thing, then I
Yeah.
just started paying attention to it. And then if I'd hear something I really liked, now we talked about this before. I have a way to record it so that I don't forget that if it's a melody or if it's a rhythm. You know.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, that's something you easily, hit record on your phone
So yeah.
and remember then what you've come up with. Before we hear a little bit of this, let's talk some about the TV stuff you've been doing. Just
Oh, great.
not too long ago, I did see. I think one of the most recent things you've done is the morning show.
Did the morning show with Reese, and I did it with Reese.
Yeah, she was playing a reporter
Right.
out in the field,
Right.
and it was some conflict or something.
It was
you were
a strike, a mining
a mining strike. That's what it was. Yeah, and I'm watching this. I had kind of halfway forgotten that you were in it, but I went. There's.
Wait
because
a
I
minute.
called you Dave. I always
I
called
was
you.
just
There's
watching
Dave Hinton.
TV, and who's he?
No, I know who that miner is that's standing there.
Yeah.
No, that's good. But you've done so many things.
I've done a lot, and I was in some of the stuff that's happening with music. They go, how did your music stuff start? And truly, the radio background, which you know about, that we share, and then the acting background. My way of thinking about it recently has been it's like cross training.
Yeah.
If there are things like on the morning show, the audition and the actual job was all improvisation.
Oh, really?
They just want to, they tell you who you're supposed to be, and then they say, why are you here? And then you start making up stuff. And that's a thing that I really think I can go back to radio to how that connects a little bit, but truly as learning acting things in Los Angeles, you learn how to do that on your feet. And that all gets me back to how songwriting starts. It's a blank sheet of paper, and you get an idea, and what happens next, and you just start making up stuff.
Yeah, it's all creative.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be taught that. I mean, you went to acting school.
No,
I guess?
there are things that you need to be taught. If we equate it to, let's say, piano lessons, which I've also had.
Right.
I drove by my piano teacher's
Did
old
you really?
house on the way here. Well, you have to learn the scales. You have to know what the notes are, but you also have to have the facility to know how to play them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I hear them in my head and I can't play them, it doesn't do me any good.
Right.
So you have to learn some things in order to, for your imagination to have something to work from.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's hear a little bit of "Fall in My Arms." More of a ballad, but yeah, with a few little surprises.
There's
Every time I try, I just throw my hands up high. I can't explain you. Baby, you walk by and the trees begin to sigh. I can't explain you.
So, what do you think?
the last line of the song is fun for me. There's again, it's all an imagined idea of what it's like to have somebody that you're crazy about. But the last line is, it's now, it's here, it's this. At least to me, it's crystal clear and in slow motion. I'm in. I'm overboard to get to you. It's time to swim or drink the ocean.
Yeah.
So that's the thing where you are, so you're in the water and your only way out of it is either to drink the entire ocean or learn to swim because you don't have any other choices. You're now kind of in a corner.
You're committed.
That's it. So I like that.
That's awesome. Well, I was able to hear these two after I heard the one we're going to talk about next.
Ooh.
Well, so this is the first one I heard of your group that are in this new EP that you've got, and it's called Beautiful Woman. Mm-hmm. And it really is evocative. I mean, it certainly paints a picture, and you've got a dimly lit nightclub maybe, and this mysterious figure is commanding the spotlight. And I understand that the inspiration is from some beautiful blonde that
lived in the neighborhood.
Lived in the neighborhood.
And I also like that description that you gave about the dimly lit nightclub, and is happens to me a lot because I'm trying to imagine where this song would be performed or where somebody would first hear this song.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that go into the way a song sounds or the way that it rolls along is a way to actualize that kind of, imagined atmosphere. I used to live, Mulholland Drive is the road that runs across the top of what we call the Hollywood Hills. So if you look to this side, you'll see Hollywood and all the way down to the beach. And if you look to this side, you'll see the San Fernando Valley. And at night, it's all lit up with the lights on everywhere. It's great. And in that area, there were several people who used that ridge road to do their daily walking. Mm-hmm. And several people that you would recognize if you watch television who would walk along that road.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there was, just somebody that I knew that lived in the neighborhood who had this big sun hat. And she was always out there with 2 or 3 friends, and they would, you'd see them every day. And it was fun to see her. And so there was just a prompt for some reason for me that I thought, she's going to get into another big movie because she was a movie star. Mm-hmm. She's going to get into another big movie, and if I want to get the jump on having a song that could be her song in this movie, I'll write it. Uh-huh. So I went in and I wrote Beautiful Woman. And I thought, well, what kind of, is she going to be a good character, or is she going to be the one that you find out at the end was tricking everybody
kind
all
of a
along?
femme
So
fatale,
you're making this out.
Yeah.
Again, it's just imagination. So I came up, so the original line was, she's a beautiful woman. They're the dangerous kind. And everything else from the song just kind of flows out from there.
Yeah. He said, I love the phrase from it. Nothing stops a man like a drop dead beautiful woman, the most dangerous kind. She's got the pretties, this and that heaven ever designed.
Yeah, you never see it coming. There's not a next time. And again, this kind of goes back to a little bit earlier in this conversation. If a guy's got his eye on somebody, you can warn them all day long, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're going, oh no, I can handle that. I got that. I have. There's another. This is a real digression, but occasionally friends will know that I know this other movie star person. They'll go, can you introduce me so we could go out? And I tell them, she will burn everything you own. It doesn't matter because they still want to go. So
They still,
you got to find out for yourself.
Still want to meet her. Still want to have that opportunity. Oh my goodness. Well, enough said then. Let's listen to Beautiful Woman.
She's a beautiful woman. They're the dangerous kind. She's got the prettiest this and that heaven ever designed. You never see it coming. There's not a next time. She's a beautiful woman. They're the dangerous kind. Better loosen your collar. You see, I know her well. Listen, I was in your shoes when the hammer fell.
is just awesome. I mean, it's a really,
You're my
it
favorite
just
audience.
I mean, I love it. But before we go, I want to talk about something that you were able to do last fall.
I did this.
And this was the Heroes Link, the 2023 gala honoring Gary Sinise.
Right.
And you were the featured music performer for
Right.
this and wrote special music
Right,
to honor these Medal of Honor recipients.
There were 6 Medal of Honor recipients that night in a big gala event at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And the producer of that evening knew me, and she said, I want you to do 3 songs. And they built a 40-foot video wall behind me, and they put video together so that the video went with the words of my songs. Well,
So tell me about the songs.
well, I did a song called "Angels Are Here." These are all songs that let me make sure you can hear all these songs. These are all songs that are on my website.
Okay.
So I did a song called "Angels Are Here," a song called "A Long Way From Home," and a song called "Beautiful Joe." And the producer knew those songs and said, I think these will fit perfectly with the evening, with the people that are there, and with what we're trying to do. And it was an emotionally gripping night for me.
I'm sure it was.
For me, it was just tremendous.
Yeah.
It was an honor to meet the Medal of Honor recipients.
Yeah, I mean, think about what they sacrificed to get to that point.
Stunning, and to hear their stories directly and get to meet them in person, and just to be a part of an evening that was really set up to honor them. That was great.
Heart was full. Yeah, some of the recipients are Sergeant Ryan Pitts, Staff Sergeant, Leroy Petrie.
I met Leroy first.
Master Sergeant,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and he walked up and said hello, and his story is just staggering. And as I recall, he spent some of his career at Fort Hood.
Oh, really?
So that was another part
Another
of the
commonality there
Yeah,
for you.
that was another part of that evening for me, was that I did, like when I first wrote Angels Are Here, I used some background singers that were soldiers from now Fort Cavazos. But,
Yeah, right. Oh, this is amazing. Of course, Gary Sinise was their their
right.
honorary person.
They
Of course, we all know of him, as an award-winning actor, director, and producer.
Sergeant Dan.
Yeah, exactly. He says, well, we can never do enough for our defenders and their loved ones. We can always do a little more.
That's it. And for me, it was also fun, fun's the wrong word, meaningful. Dad passed away in August, and this was in November. So it was a way for me to mention him, and mention his World War II service in France and Germany to a room that would understand what that meant. So
Yeah, your dad, precious, and I know you had him a long time.
Great, really great years.
Yeah, and so that he's kind of been the key that brings you back to Texas. So
Yes. So now I'll just have to do it on my own.
I was
so
going
you
to say,
need to
will
watch
you promise?
out.
Will you promise you'll still come back and see us?
I will absolutely come back.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I mean, it's just always so much fun to hear about your exploits and especially to share with our listeners about your music and
I really like to. And
the creativity that you're still tapping into, which I think is awesome.
Thank you. It's oxygen for me. I need to do that. The Heroes linked, and this went over so really well in November that they're going to do a big event in Texas in September.
Are they really?
They're planning it. It
Yeah.
hasn't been, or I'd tell you what the details on it are. But I
Okay.
look to be back in the fall to do it.
Okay.
Do some work there.
All right. Well, yeah. And maybe put me in contact with the people involved with that.
That would be beautiful. That'd be
because
wonderful.
if it's in Austin, it would be easy
That'd be wonderful.
to help
Yeah,
promote that.
right.
Yeah, Heroes Linked. That's a wonderful thing that you're
Yeah.
doing too.
it was important to me.
Yeah. Well, hate to say goodbye.
So do I.
I mean, but
it
I
just
guess
means we'll have to do
all
this
good,
again.
all good things must come to an end. But yeah, come back and we will visit some
I
more.
really enjoy the time. I always enjoy the time, and I thank you for sharing your audience with
Oh,
me.
well, it is an honor. Thank you, J.D. Hinton. And they can find your music again
At J.D. Hinton everywhere.
at J.D. Hinton. And you can, of course, download, obviously. And
Yeah.
will you have more songs on this EP that's...
There are 2 more songs that are going to come out on this EP. This
Okay.
EP is called 5 Smooth Stones.
Okay.
And there's 2 more songs. What month is this? This is in May. So there's a song coming out in June's the next month. It shows you how my year's gone. And then after that in July, the whole EP will be out. And then starting in the fall, we'll have a new EP. So there's more to come.
Just keep them coming.
You do have to keep it
Yeah,
coming.
well, I mean, you've got musicians that work with you
Yeah.
regularly, and you're still performing, I guess,
Yes,
live shows.
I am. I'm ready to do it again. Because of the way the year ends and so forth, I'm now just starting to plan my year
Okay.
live.
Okay. But yeah, do you have any plans to actually perform in Texas, to have like a show?
Oh,
We talked
I
about
would-
this last time.
I would so love to figure out a way to play in Waco somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a couple of places I'm looking at in Austin. We'll see. Well, no, but if I do that, you are going to know that.
That's right. Let us know. For sure. Yeah, we'd love to be there. Thanks again.
Thank you.
J.D.
thank you.
Hinton, yes. And again, 5 Smooth Stones.
5
But
Smooth
just go to
Stones.
your website. And
Yeah, the jdhinton.com's got all the information there.
You
So,
can access your music.
yeah, and
Thank you.
that's wild.
Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you again next time on Central Texas Life. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.